Hi, I'm Seth with Hornady Manufacturing. In today's tech tip, we're going to take this 6mm Creedmoor match grade sizing die and we're going to set it using a Headspace Comparator set. In a previous installment, we set up a full-length die for full-length sizing. Today we're going to use the Headspace Comparator to really make it rifle specific. The benefits of controlling headspace are improved accuracy, lower standard deviation and extreme spread, and in belted magnums a significant increase in case life. Let's get started. The first step in working with any reloading dies is to make sure they've been properly degreased, which we already have. The next step is to select your bushing, which we've done in the previous installment. It's important to note that you always want to purchase the bushing above and below your desired dimension. This accounts for any anomaly that is unforeseen, like if your brass springs back more than 1/1000th of an inch, you can still load. The first step is to remove the cap. Just simply thread it out. Take your bushing, and if it's equipped with stamped numbers, simply face those upward and secure it in with the cap. Once the cap becomes snug, you can shake your die body and feel that the bushing is somewhat loose in the die. That is by design. It allows that bushing to self-center. Next, we'll have to set the decapping pin height. Simply loosen the lock ring and adjust the stem until the decapping pin protrudes approximately 1/8 to 3/16 and secure that lock ring. This die is now ready to go and get set on the press. To use the Headspace Comparator set, we'll simply need to select which Headspace bushing we'll want to use. The set comes with 5 bushings, and it also includes a reference chart that will have the majority of the cartridges on there and tells you which bushing to use. In the event your cartridge is not listed, it's quite simple to figure out. Simply take a set of calipers, measure the case neck, measure the shoulder of the case right where it meets the body, add those two numbers together, divide by 2, and use the bushing that's closest to that number. In this case, we're going to be using a .375 diameter bushing. It's held in place with a set screw and a supplied Allen wrench. And then you'll need to affix the body to your caliper blades. Open up the caliper blades, line it up. I usually give it a pinch to hold it in place and tighten the brass thumb screw. What's important to note is if you put the brass thumb screw through the other side, it will still hold to the caliper blade, but it will not be centered on the bottom blade. That is a feature we use for our overall length gauge, which we'll outline in a later video. So once it's affixed, I will go ahead and loosen the bezel. I'll zero my dial indicator and secure that bezel so it points to 0, and we're ready to set the die. Our first step today will be measuring our fired cases for Headspace. These 5 cartridges have been fired out of a freshly built bolt-action rifle. We'll measure where the headspace is now so we can get a baseline measurement. That is a zeroed caliper. We'll take our fired case. These have been cleaned and lubed. We're coming with a measurement of 3.552. Take that measurement on a couple different cartridge cases. 3.552 as well. And again, 3.552. So now we know where our baseline is, and we have to determine how much headspace do we want to create. For a precision bolt-action rifle, it's usually desirable to kiss the shoulders between 1 and 2/1000ths of an inch. With a semi-automatic, I would recommend at least 5/1000ths of an inch of headspace. We'll take our bushing, install it into the press, and we'll use our shell holder for reference, just like we did with our full-length die. We'll thread it down until it contacts that shell holder. There it's contacting. Now I'm going to back off 1 full revolution and just loosely touch that lock ring down. Take my first case, and these are already been lubed. We'll run it into the size die, and we'll take a measurement to see if we kiss that shoulder. And those measure strong at 3.552. We didn't touch the shoulder. I personally don't like to work the same piece of brass over and over and over, so I'll set that one in a different row, and I'll lower that die an additional 1/4 of a turn, size another case. That one's coming in just a hair lower than .552, so I think I'm just in that ballpark of touching the shoulder. I'll make an additional roughly 1/8 turn, size another case. That measures right at 550. That one is showing correct. Now, I'm going to take these that measured .552 initially just to make sure that that one wasn't a little short. We'll go ahead and resize that case. Take a measurement. You can see here we've got our Headspace set for 3.550. Go ahead and set this lock ring so that die is permanently set. And we're now ready to size the remainder of our cases. It's important to note that those cartridges with 2000s Headspace for that individual rifle will likely not chamber in any other rifle that has that same chambering because the Headspace can vary. Within the die box, in the upper right hand corner, you'll find a small piece of styrofoam. Underneath that foam, there are a few extra parts. The first part is a match grade seating stem. The seating stem has been profiled internally to match up better with long C-can ogive type bullets. So if that's what you're loading, it's best to swap out that stem. The other piece is an elliptical expander. This expander is what is normally equipped on a standard full-length die. On a bushing die, because you are choosing your bushing based on the outside diameter of your case, we'll typically run a decapping retainer that will not touch the inside diameter of your case mouth. This is what will come factory installed on your die. If you decide to put more than 4 to 5 thousandths of an inch worth of neck tension on your cartridge case, it's best to take the elliptical expander and put it in place of the decapping pin retainer. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to give us a call and stand by for more tech tips.